And hello gamers, and welcome back to our journey through the classic Atari arcade games of the 80s. And we have an arcade game from 1980. There's not a lot of information out there about this one. I research every arcade game that we play in this series. There's not a lot of information about this one. It's not governed by discrete logic because there are other players there are other computer-controlled players, so it's not discrete logic. So this likely uses a MOS technology 6502, like most other games, arcade games of this era. And there's not a lot of material out there about it. In fact, this image, this is from Wikipedia. Atari, Code Mystics for the Atari Vault got this from Wikipedia. This same image is out there on the Wikipedia page for this game. So, and this is just a flyer that was sent out to arcades about the game, how it plays. This is the cabinet. This is a refurbished cabinet for Sprint 4, essentially, that was repurposed for this game. And here's the cocktail table version. Let's go back. And essentially what this game is a variation on Pong, and actually won an award in the Arkie Awards, which is Arcade Awards back in the day. It actually won an award for Best Pong Variant in I believe it was 1981. So it actually won an award, and it is essentially a game of Pong. Let me show you the board. Now this is simulated because we're not actually using an actual screen. This is all simulated, what you're seeing here. Now the regular arcade machine, what would happen is this whole screen is black and white. It's entirely black and white. And this is a overlay that would be in the background. This would be like a background overlay with some yellow over top, just like Asteroids Deluxe. And then here, these are color overlays. It would be in these 4 quadrants, and these represent the 4 players. And how it's related to Pong, you see this fireball bouncing around, and you see how it changed color when it went in there. That's simulating the filter that would be on the screen. That would be altering the colors and the overlay. But essentially, you have these walls. You have your warlord. Looks like Vader, which this is right after Star Wars. Actually, this is right around the time Empire Strikes Back came out. So you have these warlords that almost look like Vader's face in here. And you have these walls. And you'll get this little barrier that you can move around. And you can bounce this fireball around, or you can grab it. But doing so slowly degrades your wall. The longer you hold it, the more it degrades your wall. But you can hold it and then shoot it at your opponent and knock out portions of their wall. Once you get their wall down, you fling the fireball to hit the warlord to take them out. And that's how you play the game. And this was the original trash-talking multiplayer game back in the day. I bet a lot of friendships ended because of this game. So let's get in. Begin. Press player start. Let's begin. Oh. Started out by taking out some of my wall. Oh! Hey, stop taking my wall. And we have this little shield to block it with. Oh, I'm vulnerable. Yeah. I am. Come. Oh. Ah. Oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. Got you. Oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. Oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. Ooh. All right. One more time. Oh, the dragon. Ooh. And it really builds up speed. It can knock out walls pretty good. It took a big chunk out of my wall. And these tiny little things to block it with are really small. Oh. 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 Ah. They're trying to take each other down. Ah, almost took myself out. No, you don't. No, you don't. Ah. Oh, that's not good. Yes, got him. Ooh. Ah. One more time. Which way is he gonna shoot? But he always shoots my way. Now, I've never played the arcade version of this. I've always played the Atari 2600 version. Jerk. Oh. Ah! Well, you get the idea of what this game is all about. Easy to play, difficult to master. Yeah, I've never played the arcade version of this. I've never even seen... I don't think I've ever really seen the arcade version of this anywhere. I think I did once. There was the very big arcade, one where if you remember, there was one where I played Tron for the first time. I played the Tron arcade game, where it had the multiple different game styles, where I don't even remember what order they were in. You had the disc battle, and you had the light cycles, then you had guys standing in a tube with colored lights coming down. You had to shoot them in order to stop them from covering you. And there was one other one, I forget what that one was, but that's where I played that one at for the very first time. I think that was Livernois. I think that was on Livernois. It's been a long time. That one was there for a very long time. You could still see the arcade machines through the windows of the shop, but the shop was closed. The arcade was always closed, and it still had the original artwork on the outside. That changed late in the 90s. Somebody bought the place, but it sat there unused for a long time with those arcade machines in there. And I think I remember seeing this particular machine in there, but I never played it. The only version of this I've ever played is the Atari 2600 version. I know that for a fact. Me and a bunch of friends played it. We used paddle controllers to play the game. They brought over, I had 2 paddle controllers, they had another set of paddle controllers, and they brought them in and plugged them up so we could all 4 play. And that was the only time I ever played this before. I never played this version, this original arcade version. And that was also the same arcade where I saw Wizard of War at. It was the very first one where I saw the Wizard of War game. So, yeah, this is interesting. It's a variation on Pong and Breakout. Breakout, where you're breaking these, where you have to take out these walls. You have a bouncing ball, it's the fireball. You have to break these walls down, plus you have that tiny shield to block or grab and then shoot around at your opponents, and then you have to hit them to take them out. So it's a variation on Pong, and it's a variation on Breakout, both at the same time. It was a black and white screen. These are simulated overlays, because of course these are all simulated displays. A lot of the other arcade machines required vector graphics screens, which were very different. Those are simulated as well in this. Of course, this is a flat panel. This is a Samsung Smart TV that I'm displaying all this on. And it's not a vector screen, so it's simulated as well. But it simulates the overlay that would have been on the screen, because this whole thing is all black and white. But this was Warlords. Another classic arcade game from the 1980s. Now, this next game in the series. Yeah, this one. Oh, now, you should know this one. Everybody who's ever played video games should know this game. If you've never heard of this game, if you've never seen it, shame on you. Because this is the game that really helped to thrust video games into the forefront. This is the game that made arcades. This is the game that really brought people into the arcades. Now, this one right here. the arcade, the Asteroids Deluxe, not so much, but this one thrust arcades into the forefront. It really drew people's attention. It's a simple vector graphic, non-color vector graphic game, but it just captured people's imaginations like no other. I remember back in the day when this arcade game first came out, there were people lining up just to play it, and every arcade had one. Literally almost every arcade had one. So this is a biggie, and this one's been ported and mimicked on hundreds of platforms, and there have been different iterations of this in the arcades from all sorts of different companies. I think almost every game company back then had at least some kind of variation on Asteroids. So it's going to be interesting seeing this the next time around. Very interesting. A very interesting next episode. I'm not even going to take a preview of the gallery right now because I don't know how much information there is out there. The more popular the arcade game, the more stuff there's going to be in the gallery, most likely. In this game, this is right up there when it comes to popularity. Next to Tempest, this is one of the second most popular arcade games of all time from the 80s. This one's a legend. If Tempest was a biggie, if Tempest was huge when it came to classic retro arcade games from the 80s, this one's huge. This one's the big kahuna. This is the one that made arcades popular. Right here. This guy. Asteroids. This is the one that thrust arcades into the mainstream. So, we'll see you guys next time for that video. If you liked this video, consider subscribing. And also, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you know what to do. And also, again, if you have had any great experiences in games in the arcades, if you have any memories from playing games back in the 80s or even in the 90s, or if you've been to arcades that are currently around right now, where do you go to play arcade games? Are there any arcades in your area that are still open that you can still go to? Let us know. I mean, arcade games are still fun to play, even today. And, and there are some really interesting ones that are out there now. I have not seen many contemporary arcade games because there aren't that many arcades around. I've seen the most contemporary ones I've seen are the ones that are over in Japan, and they're all over the place. You can't walk 5 feet without stumbling over an arcade there. So let me know in the comments below, what arcades you go to, what arcade games are there if you go to an arcade in your area. Where is it at, so people who might be in your area can find it and have some fun. Maybe they didn't know that there was an arcade in the area that they could go to. Maybe if you get more people to go, you can help that arcade out, because arcades are expensive, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people who are very nostalgic for these, who would love to go there and plunk down some quarters to play them. They're a good diversion. Yeah, takes money to play these things. You have to plunk down quarters, sometimes 50 cents, sometimes $1, depending on the game. But, there's something special about actually playing an arcade game. Something really special about playing an authentic arcade cabinet machine. Something really special about the experience. It's not just, you're going in and popping your quarters in and just playing it. It's something special about being there and actually playing the actual machine. I mean, it's fun to play them here, in Arcade Vault, where I'm actually playing the actual ROMs of the games themselves. They're being emulated in this official software. It's fun doing that, but it's a lot more fun to play the actual machines, because some of these machines are really old, and it gets really expensive to repair them. And so the machines that are still capable of working properly, you're still being able to enjoy them and play them. There's something special about that. So, as I said, let us know in the comments below, where do you play arcade games at? If there's an arcade still open in your area that has some really great games, let us know. Also, if you are a member of Google Plus, come on over to our Gamers Bay community and do the same thing in the thread for this video. You know, what arcades do you go to? Is there an arcade in your area? Let us know where it's at, so anyone in that area can get to it and, you know, and have some fun. Because arcades are few and far between in this country, here in the US. And, you know, they're still fun places. They are still fun places. They've gotten a bad rap here in the US because people think, you know, oh, you go to an arcade to do a drug deal. But it's not always the case. You know, you can go there and you can make friends, meet new people. There's nothing wrong with meeting new people. Nothing wrong with meeting new friends. You know, nothing wrong with going out with your friends and playing some games. You know, you're spending a little money, but you always spend that money when you go out with your friends anyway. So, you know, let us know what's in your area, what's fun. So, everybody, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and we will continue our journey through the classic Atari arcade games of the 80s with the legend Asteroids. See you next time.